We have some late breaking news as we come on the air here. A Child Protective Services caseworker facing charges in Hays County after San Marcos police found a juvenile runaway at her home.
23-year-old Georgiana Springer charged with harboring a runaway child. County officials declined to release additional information today since charging papers have not yet been filed by the district attorney's office. Springer arrested back on July 22nd.
She was forced to resign 4 days later, according to a Texas Department of Family and Protective Services official.
Voters made their choice. Races in Bexar County and the top spot statewide decided after a long night of election results rolling in.
But the reaction to those results, that is just getting started. Let's take a look at the biggest races last night. Governor Greg Abbott securing his third term, beating out Democratic challenger Beto O'Rourke. Abbott won with 55% of the vote. But when you look at Bexar County results, O'Rourke won the majority locally.
A big race here locally. Bexar County judge, Democratic Judge Peter Sakai won against Republican candidate Trish DeBerry going away. Sakai will be the first new county judge in 2 decades after longtime Judge Nelson Wolff decided not to run for re-election.
Overall, it was a smooth night for operations when it comes to the Bexar County election, but there were some bumps along the way.
Yeah, one of them being lower than expected. We're going to get to that in a moment, but election officials facing power issues, long lines, and some frustrated voters as well.
But our Camelia Juarez spoke with the elections officials there at the county department who say they were never worried because there was a backup plan for all of that.
Polling sites closed Tuesday, but votes are coming in through the mail.
This election will not be over until next Tuesday, so bear with us. There are not close elections, close results, but the law allows us to count any ballots that are delivered today.
And yesterday, it lasted 30 minutes. Election Administrator Jackie Callanan says they used generators to restore power. Long lines were reported at UTSA's polling site, despite a UTSA official telling KSAT there were 8 workers there. The polling location did not close until 11 last night, well after the 7 closing time. Callanan says she's going to across the county.
For instance, Brookalla, they're usually one of our #1 sites, Brookalla Library, and her line was gone by 7:30. And so, again, we're going to look into a lot of that. It'll take us a while.
Last night, KSAT reported Chavano police responding to someone who was yelling and causing a scene outside City Hall where people were casting
Definitely. People are complaining to wait in line. People are complaining if they have to update their address. And if it takes them any longer, have to move to the side to fill out any other paperwork. They're angry. Of course, there's just a lot of emotion out there.
Bexar County election officials in charge of polling location security told KSAT last night there have been no other issues reported. Despite a few minor challenges, Callanan's day report was completed by 12:41 last night. She says that's earlier than usual. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Now, election officials put in a lot of efforts to get as many of the 1.2 million registered voters in Bexar County to vote. But at the end of the day, Election Administrator Jackie Callanan says roughly 44% of eligible voters cast their ballot. That's about 540,000 people. There were more registered voters this time around, but a smaller percentage of them actually showed up to vote. In the last midterm in 2018, Bexar County had a 50% voter turnout.
Leaders of two of the nation's largest nonpartisan Latino organizations predict the Latino vote could wind up being 26% of the total vote in Texas last night. Jesse Degollado says they believe yesterday's election results should serve as a message to both political parties.
Thank you all.
Latinos who supported Democrat Beto O'Rourke weren't able to get him elected. Yet Republican Governor Greg Abbott won re-election with the help of other Latinos.
The message is very clear. The Latino vote is up for grabs.
Latino leaders say the vote that was supposed to be swept up by a predicted red wave in South Texas was nothing more than pundits talking.
Some of these politically erroneous narratives argue that either Latinos would not show to the polls or they would overwhelmingly support the GOP agenda.
Instead, the president of the Southwest Voter Registration and Education Project, Lidia Camarillo, says Latino voters are turning out in record numbers.
Never down. Up, 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 up. They are clearly astute, they're savvy, they care, and they're voting.
And if you want to get our vote, you got to talk about bread and butter issues.
Long before it's time to head to the polls, they say both parties have to invest the needed time and money to earn the Latino vote, now and in the future.
I believe that the Latino voice is going to get only stronger for upcoming generations in America.
They're seeing it as a wake-up call. Well, if not me, then who?
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Several school bonds were on the ballot last night, including an East Central ISD where there was a special election proposition. It passed with 62% of the vote. That paves the way for a $240 million school bond to pay for new schools, facilities, the renovation of some older schools, and to convert an old facility into a warehouse. In a statement today from district leaders, they said in part that the addition of the new schools is, quote, going to help us effectively address several issues that we've been experiencing because we're growing so quickly, end quote.
Meanwhile, the Judson Independent School District had two propositions on the ballot, both aiming to improve the district's schools and facilities in order to meet the demands of that growing district. And both of them passed last night. Proposition A is a $172 million bond that will affect all campuses. The money will go towards upgrades and safety and security improvements. It passed with 60% of the vote. Proposition B for a new elementary and middle school, in addition to new buses, it passed with 58%. And Judson ISD officials also releasing a statement today, writing in part, quote, this bond puts us on the right path and in the best position to make sure we are doing everything possible to ensure safe and secure environments for students to learn and staff to work, end quote.
We will continue sharing election results throughout this newscast, but if you scan this QR code right now, you can get them straight to your phone at this moment. That includes Bexar County, state, and national results as well.
After more than a week, a family's search for their loved one comes to an end. Today, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the body confirmed as blunt force injuries. He was last seen back on October 5th, according to the family we spoke to last week. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say they found his vehicle heavily damaged and overturned near Somerset Road and Evans Road, along with Wiseman's body.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need some help looking for two teens wanted in connection with a deadly shooting at a hookah lounge back. 18-year-old Andres Villarreal and 19-year-old Jacob Tijerina are both wanted for capital murder and aggravated robbery. Police know who they are, but they need to find them. The charges stem from that shooting at the Blow Hookah Lounge on Eisenhower Road. San Antonio police say that those two suspects and four others robbed Takai Michael. He was shot and killed there. The other four suspects have all since been arrested. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-2. Stop.
Embattled San Antonio City Councilman Clayton Perry still staying out of sight today.
But he has now broken his silence on a Sunday hit and run in which he is a suspect. After the crash, a half-mile from his house, a San Antonio police officer reportedly found Perry lying in his backyard, moaning with a cut on his head and smelling of alcohol. But the councilman told the officer he had not been driving his vehicle. In a statement today, though, he was involved in a crash, but he hit his head and doesn't really remember it. He says he spent a day and a half at Brooke Army Medical Center and is fully cooperating with everyone to resolve it. This has been the story of the week so far about the City Council. City Hall reporter Garrett Berger joining us live now. But Garrett, Perry is not the only one on council under fire.
That's absolutely correct. This was already going to be an uncomfortable week for all the other members on the city council dais. But tomorrow morning, they're scheduled to vote on whether to censure and give a no confidence vote on District 1 Councilman Mario Bravo, based on his angry confrontation with District 7 Councilwoman Ana Sandoval ahead of the September budget vote. Now, these are two different incidents, though, and they are being treated differently. When it came to Perry, the mayor said that if the details in the police report were accurate, Perry should resign. Bravo was the subject of an independent investigation, and the mayor suspended him from his committee assignments. But he has not made any call to resign as he had with Perry. So we asked him today, why not?
Two situations, we're handling them both appropriately. The situation with regard to Councilman Bravo is all laid out in the investigation that's detailed in the agenda item yesterday, or for tomorrow.
That comment, though, came before Perry had released his statement this afternoon. Though after it had come out, we asked the mayor what he thought. He said he had nothing to add. Now, we also tried talking with Bravo today about this impending vote, but he had no comment. Live at City Hall, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. A local mother just 1 month into mourning the loss of her daughter in a wrong-way collision is taking this time for action and awareness of the dangers of not being safe on the road.
As it usually is in this area this time of day, but no real big problems out there to make you aware of.